Meet Serena, your virtual companion for emotional support. The ultimate safe space to discuss your thoughts, your fears, and the ups and downs of daily life. Start your free trial today at serena.chat.
Am I the asshole for telling my 24F roommate that I'll be canceling his 30M phone by the end of the month? Please delete if this doesn't belong here. It's been a while since I was last on. Too long did not read. Roommate is upset I'm canceling his line on my phone plan. Says it's not logical. George, fake name, has been on my phone plan for the past 5 years. He's only ever once paid for the lines because I happened to fall for an offer-up scam when I was trying to sell some stuff. I'm not very smart. But other than that, I've been paying for it. I originally put him on my plan because he was having parental issues, so I offered to help him out. We weren't roommates then and he said he'd pay me back and pay for his half. He never did. Though he's been through a financial hardship and he did offer me a place for when I came back from deployment. So I don't know. I just need an outside perspective on this. Anyways, I had a discussion with him this morning about him getting his own phone plan and he started saying how that would be illogical because it would be more. I then proceeded to provide an example of phone company only charging $15 per month for unlimited data, talk and text. He went to his room and slammed the door. The more I think about it, the more I wonder if I'm wrong for getting ready to cancel his line. Am I the asshole? Just an edit to explain why I'm upvoting everyone. I've had a severe TBI overseas. I'm upvoting so I can keep track of who I've read already. Update. I'll copy and paste the conversations between him and me. I don't think our schedules will align for us to have the time to sit down and discuss the phone plan. But I found this for ya. I think it's great because if there's one line on my phone plan, it halves the amount I'll have to pay for the phone plan each month. And you don't have to pay over $30 for a phone plan. In total, the amount paid each month is really $65 to $70 as compared to the $100 I'm shelling out each month. I say, why not go for it? It's on sale. I've also seen that T-Mobile powers Mint 2 nationally, so you'll still have the same coverage as you do now. Him. I don't think our schedules will align. Look, you've literally not even tried. Outside of yesterday's talk, we've not spoke. So that means there's no attempt to even try and set a time aside. I keep trying to have us operate as a team, which means communication. Whereas on your end, you're just thinking what's in your head and without any other input from who you are supposed to be working with, thinking it's the best course of action. I want both of us to get out of this situation in a good spot, but when you keep operating like this, it really stops me from putting any trust in you. I'm fine with talking about the phone plan situation. But I want you to approach this like a level-headed adult, not a child. This has been consistently the problem with you and the reason we keep falling into more trouble. And I just want to be clear here because you have a habit of taking information that's not there and expanding it way outside what it even wasn't. I'm not mad. I just don't have the patience to deal with you trying to do this stuff anymore. Me. I'm not mad either. But I think it's time for you to take charge of your own phone plan too. I've given you the tools as well as the data that you requested. I will not be able to afford your phone plan anymore since I'm covering A, the electric bill, B, the storage unit, C, the phone plan, D, NFME, car note. I am not undermining your payments, which is why I've searched for you to have a more affordable plan. I've done the math to see why I'm practically broke after each paycheck and I need to do this. Update 2. This is just more of the conversation. Him. My name. I have asked for us to together after we paid so we can look at bills so we can pay things evenly. You have literally failed to do this. Every single time. So you paying this much is on you. I've set time aside every time for us to discuss bills and you have failed every time. Me. That's fair. It is on me. So, with that being said, it should be even more logical as to go for the cheaper option to get you your own phone plan. He's not lying when he says he sets up times for us to talk about finances, but he always comes to this meetings 4 or 5 hours late where it's around 1200 to 0100. I don't usually have the patience to wait that long on him. Not the asshole and after that comment that you pay 80% of the rent. You need to ditch him. He's scamming you. Find a new place and take off his phone. Not the asshole and if you are in the United States and disabled, perhaps there is more affordable housing available to you, along with counseling, if you feel it would help. Since you have been injured, I understand that it must be tough on your own. Please take care of yourself and I hope your phone and living situation improves soon. You are at risk of being financially abused. You need to talk to the disability office, social services, someone you can trust and will be in your corner. You're a great person. You do not need to pay for his phone line. You should not be paying 80% of rent or utilities. Do you pay rent? Not the asshole. It sounds like you have more than paid him back for him offering you a place when you came back from deployment. He's taking advantage of you now. Am I the asshole for thinking my stepkids give up their second room for my son who doesn't have one? A bit of backstory. I, female 36, moved in with my partner D, male 45, a few months back. We were both married beforehand and both have kids to our previous relationships. D has 2 children, female 8 and male 10. I have 4 children, 18, 16, 13 males and a 8-year-old girl. Due to D being a farmer, moving in together meant my children and I had to move into his house with him. D house is a 3-bedroom plus study and 2 sleepouts. These are 2 tiny homes next to the main house, making 5-bedroom altogether. We have 1 room. His kids share a room and my daughter has the other. I did think the 2 girls could share, but he wanted his kids to be together. I thought it was a bit strange and, for the lack of a better word, a bit inappropriate as their ages are getting a bit old to share, but that's another story. The study has always been unused for as long as I've known D. We have 2 sleepouts put in for the older boys. For contents, his kids come 2 nights a week, even over the holidays, and my 13-year-old decided to stay in the city with his father as he has just started high school and didn't want to change. He does come stay with us every weekend and for all the school holidays. Where we live they get 4 terms, which is 2 weeks school holidays every 6 weeks and 6 weeks holidays over Christmas. The other 3 kids live with us full time. When 13-year-old stays with us, he was meant to share a sleep out with 16, but being out in the country he said it's too scary out there OIT night and normally sleeps on the couch. I decided it would be a good idea to make the study into a little room for 13 since it's just been used as storage. I thought it would be nice if he has a space for himself and a proper bed. It's not a large room but will be big enough for a wee space for 13 to call his own. Now this is where I have been told I am the asshole. After clearing out the study, D decided since his kid's room small, it's the same size as the other bedroom, but is always a mess leaving no room to play, D thinks they should get the study as a playroom. When I said if they cleaned their room they would have room to play, not that they play, they are normally on their iPads in the living room the whole time they are here. Not judging his parenting, I just feel that it's relevant. D said that the rooms are small and they will still need the space. I even cleaned their room and sorted it all out to show they have more than enough space, but D just got mad and stormed off. After a week of fighting over the room, D decided he needs a home office so none of the children get the room and it will become his office. I thought it was the best as we couldn't agree on anything else and I went with it and agreed to the home office. Today he said in passing that he is sharing the space with his kids, and when I called him on it I was told I am the asshole as his kids need the space and now the room has been made into a second room for his children. So am I the asshole for thinking my son should get the room as he's here more, and his kids already have a room when my son doesn't? A sleepout is a tiny home next to the main house, like a granny flat or a standalone bedroom of sorts, so this makes 5 bedrooms altogether, not just 3. Perhaps you two should have thought a little more about moving in together before pulling the plug. 8 people in a 3-bedroom house, and you were like, yeah, let's do it, is ridiculous. Everyone sucks here, you should choose a better partner. YTA, do better for your kids, dump the awoke and move back into your own house. Few red flags here from him. Your home is too small for 6 children. Any agreements you come to do not matter because it will just slightly shift the weight of the bad parenting. Also 6 children? I know it is a step situation, but JFC people need to learn how to use birth control. Am I the asshole for joking I'm the minority? For some backstory. I'm half Tunisian, a quarter white, and a quarter Mexican. On to the story. I went bowling with 3 of my friends yesterday and we were drinking. We have plans to go tubing tomorrow and my friend Mike, fake name, made the joke that he'd have to bathe in a vat of sunscreen to prepare. We laughed at that and then I told them that growing up I never wore sunscreen because I thought it was only for people that burned. When I said that, Shiloh, fake name, side-eyed me and said she thought the same growing up. Mike asked me what I was again, and when I told him he asked where Tunisia was. He said he'd never even heard of it and I laughed and said, yeah, I am the minority, one of a kind. The following conversation went along the lines of, you're not a minority. Me. How many Tunisians do you know? S. Just you, but that doesn't make you a minority. You look white and you're part white. M. So the entire light-skin community is white? I must have missed the memo. S. No, they're black. You're not black. Me. I never claimed to be. S. So stop saying you're a minority because you're not. You don't know what it's like to face discrimination based on your skin color. Me. Are you not doing it to me right now? S. I can't discriminate against you because I'm black and you have light skin. It doesn't work that way. Me. So are you suggesting that I'm superior to you because my skin is lighter? Because that's wrong. You have just enough power to discriminate against me as I have against you. Do I look like I'm the same race as Mike? I put my arm next to his number. I'm not black. I don't speak Spanish, so I don't fit in with Mexicans. I just don't fit in with any community, and that's what makes me a minority. Have you ever been told you were fast for having hips, or been told that your hair isn't professional just because it's curly? Because I have too. Yes, I'm sure I experience far less discrimination than a more melanated person, and I'll never claim otherwise. However, you get it from one side and I get it from both. You facing what you doesn't make it okay for you to dish the same out. What gives you the right? S. You don't know what it's to be black in America and come from slaves. Your experiences aren't as bad as ours. Of course you'll be excluded. Me. If you want to play the oppression Olympics, I'm going to win every time. Do you think that black people were the only slaves? My people on my grandpa's side were slaves far longer than yours, and they fled to America to escape that. The only reason I exist is because my mom's family were refugees. I grew up in a way worse area than you did. At the end of the day, it's possible for us to both have our individual struggles and for them both to be valid. She called me a bitch and walked out. One friend says I'm in the right, and my Mike said I was an asshole for not just apologizing and dropping it. I feel justified, but I'm coming here for some unbiased opinions. Edit. The best way to describe my skin color is olive and my hair is a really dark brown and curly. Not the asshole. I'm constantly amazed that people don't realize that people with white skin can still be discriminated against. Especially, when you are from a country people aren't familiar with, like Tunisia. Not the asshole. The world isn't divided into the Western constructs of black people and white people. There are quite a few people who don't fit into either construct, especially people from certain parts of North Africa and most of Asia. Not the asshole. She wants to try and invalidate your life and identity. You have every right to defend it. You weren't competing, just explaining your family history and how that's shaped your life. No point in playing the victim Olympics. In Ta. What your friend is doing is colorism, and as a lighter-skinned mixed-raced person it is hella common in the black community. I am so sick of these fake, my black friend accused me of being racist but plot twist I'm mixed race but white passing posts. Am I the asshole for leaving itemized tips to compensate for my wife's behavior? My wife and I, in our 30s, dine out every once in a while but not too often because of my wife's annoying habit, inherited from her family. She always complains, sends food back if it's not absolutely perfect, and makes needless requests, substitutions. She doesn't have allergies or sensitivities. It can easily take 5 minutes for her just to order her own food, and sometimes I've already finished my meal by time she gets her food because she sends it back, asks for modifications, etc. I know restaurant staff don't appreciate it. I've tried talking to her about this but she doesn't see an issue with it. Anyway, we make decent money and we use our combined fun funds on dates, dinners. I recently started writing what my wife does on the receipt and then calculating a tip, in addition to the normal gratuity, to compensate. So, to a receipt I might add, complained about not having, _____ beverage, plus $5. Asked 5 questions about a single menu item, plus $5. Asked for new drink because too much ice, plus $5. Sent meal back. Was exactly what she ordered, plus $5. She didn't notice me doing it the first 2 or 3 times, but last night she noticed I was spending a lot of time on writing a tip amount and asked why. I showed her what I wrote. She's been mad at me since, saying I'm embarrassing her to the staff. I told her she's embarrassing us both. Am I the asshole? Petty, maybe, but an ETA. My wife is otherwise a very nice, caring and generous person. She does always say please and thank you even for her most absurd requests. Annoying each other like this is our love language, but this time she's pretty mad. Oops. Update. Alrighty friends, we've had our laughs and shared our perspectives. Since my wife frequents this subreddit, I went ahead and showed her this post. With that said, I'd like to address a few things. First, she and I both know that any posts on this sub are peepholes into people's lives and characters, not display cases. Yes, my wife's behavior when dining out is bad, which is why I tried to think of a way to point it out and make up for it. That said, she's not a bad person. Learn to separate the two and you'll get far in life. Secondly, when I say she was, mad at me, I don't mean that she is deeply hurt and distraught. She's calling me an asshole, yes, but that's normal for us. If this was something that was actually hurtful to her, I wouldn't be sharing it online. Anyway, she would like for you all to know that she is taking your responses to heart and she is going to be more mindful of how she dines. She would like to add that she didn't think it was a big deal before because, as she puts it, she doesn't think twice about meeting expectations in her line of work. Even if they are above and beyond the norm, she's just happy to meet demand, but she recognizes that not everyone feels that way. She's going to try to be a better customer. She said reading this was brutally eye-opening, but we both also found some laughter and had a good discussion. Not the asshole. Challenge her to going out to dinner once without a single complaint. I wouldn't go out with her again if she acts like that. You're a gem. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. I am wondering why you bother going out to eat with your wife at all. At least the servers and the back of the house know. She's a pill and you gave them a nice tip and a good laugh. Not the asshole, and as someone who used to be a server, thank you. Not the asshole. You're paying them for the trouble she puts them through. She should self-reflect. I feel your pain. I have a relative with whom I literally won't eat out unless they agree, in advance, that they won't speak to the waitstaff at all. Not one word. But that all the communication will go through me. It's a different situation from yours in that my relative is flat out rude to the waitstaff in their multiple complaints, but I only wish I'd come up with your brilliant plan on my own. Not the asshole.